And now, live from Isolation Station in Burbank, California, it's the Plague Week 56 of the Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Alison welcomes a guest. She's an actress and writer you know from Keenan, a Black Lady sketch show, and Shrill. It's Niccole Thurman. And he's a writer and comedian who was named 2020's Sweet Boy of the Year by Grandmother's Monthly. It's Jordan Morris. Tone Zone is here to warn you that not only does the Schneider cut of Justice League not, in fact, include a wisecracking superintendent, but there's not even a single mustache in the whole damn movie. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the Love Bus and say hello to your new best friend, Alison Rosen.
Alison Rosen. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her the good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison Rosen, Alison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little Cheeblers. Welcome to another exciting episode of Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular curious carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon. By Lisa Lowry. Cheeblers, what is that besides a fun word, said I. So I Googled it, and it was like a Keebler cheese snack thing from the 80s. I think it was just cheese, like twisted together, sort of like some keto snacks now. Anyway, this is not a food historian podcast. This is an other stuff podcast, and I'm very excited to introduce my guest, returning to the show, fan favorite, Jordan Morris. Hello.
Hi. Great to be here. Love the fan favorite label.
Yeah. I mean, I think you are.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Did my
divisive amongst fans, Jordan Morris.
Did my lack of definitiveness when I was like, I mean, I think you are, did that undermine having called you a fan favorite? I feel like we need a redo. Tell me again.
No. I'm up for this. I like the ambiguity.
Really? Okay.
There's no way to like quantify unless you've done some sort of like poll that I've missed. So, I mean, I think you just have to go on, general chatter, online chatter, posts, and if that makes me a fan favorite, if you're assuming my fan favoritism based on that, I will take it. I mean, no need to dive in further. No need to ask for corrections. I am fine going with this. It feels good.
See, this actually, just to foreshadow some later drama that I need to bring to this show,
this is such a well-crafted podcast.
Just
foreshadowing.
Oh my God, I know.
Have a big third act reveal.
This is like, Aristotle's W that I learned about in 8th grade, and I don't. It's like
I don't.
A Greek tragedy. It's
right,
like
yes,
a W.
Sure.
Yeah, we're gonna follow. I'm a podcast that follows Aristotelian structure.
Joseph Campbell, Hero's Journey,
That's
Save
right.
the Cat, Robert McKee.
Yes, I save a cat every episode. I say just the worst shit, but then at the very end, save a cat, and they know that I'm someone you're supposed to side with.
Right.
Anyway,
you're supposed to save the cat early on. Anyway, I don't want to note you to death. I don't want to note you to death, but anyway.
It's a good note. It's a good note. I'll consider saving the cat early, somewhere like in the first down slope of the W.
Listen, I'm an expert. I've written half a movie, so.
Look, Robert McKee has been a guest numerous times. He wrote
Really?
Oh no, hold on. Excuse me. He wrote a book of, you know what? This is getting really niche about like film structure, of which I know nothing. I just know references. All I'm trying to say is I got into a big fucking kerfuffle online with a bunch of bitches. I'll get into it, but I was, someone accused me of something, and then I was like, well, I did that because blah, 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 except I don't even agree that I did that. And Daniel was like, your first step should have been to say, what do you mean? But the reason I didn't is because I don't really want to give her an opening to say a whole bunch of shit. In the same way that you're saying, Jordan, you're saying we don't need to like delve into whether you're a fan favorite.
Let's not litigate it. Let's just assume I'm a fan favorite. Everyone loves me. Nobody's bummed when I'm on the show.
I've honestly, to be honest though, I've never heard anyone be bummed when you're on the show.
Well, thank you. That's nice of you to say.
And I personally call every single one of my 8,000 million listeners afterwards.
Good.
And
that's a real time suck. I appreciate that you do that, and I'm sure
Yeah.
they do too. And I don't know the specifics of the thing you're talking about. Obviously, I'm looking forward to getting into it, but I think, based on what you said, I think we can all agree bitches be kerfuffling.
Oh my God. Especially now.
Bitches
I would like
be kerfuffling.
Oh my God. It's the level of kerfuffle.
They love it. They can't get enough kerfuffling.
They are hungry for the fuff.
Right.
I would like to welcome to the show.
Ooh, give me that fuff, they say.
I want the kerf, I want the fuff, and don't forget the full. I need to welcome to the show, first-time guest, someone who I have followed on social media for a while. I've become a big fan. I'm very excited to have her here. Niccole Thurman, hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show. Now, do you think, because you post a lot of like, which one's hotter, Robert Downey Jr. or I forget who you put
Mark
him up.
Ruffalo. I put him
Yeah.
against Mark Ruffalo.
So
That
you're,
seems pretty one-sided to me. Sorry to jump in about that particular battle.
Well,
Is
this
it- was
is
it not?
what happens. This is what happens every time I do this game. And this is why the people love it, because I'll put people that are kind of like close in looks or people that have similar like traits or whatever, like similar, like this one was superheroes. And so I was just putting like superheroes up against each other, and it always gets really heated. Speaking of divisive, it gets very divisive. Everybody has opinions, but yeah, I think Mark Ruffalo won that one, but like barely, because they were very similar.
Really? I would think that would be a landslide
Yeah.
for Ruffalo. But
See?
maybe that's me. Maybe
Oh,
I'm
really?
I'm
It's not?
revealing. Oh, yeah.
Well,
I
but
think, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, but Robert Downey Jr. was very hot in Iron Man, so that was what it was up against. So it was that picture. So maybe it just got people on that one. I know, but it's always a surprise. Like you never know who's gonna win. I'm always surprised by it.
And I think Niccole and I bonded, well, at least in my mind we did, please let me have this, over our mutual attraction to Robert Downey Jr. and realizing this, just for me, it was just like, wow, no matter what, I always am attracted to the one who would be bad for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the bad. I feel like I'm attracted to evil, mean, not friendly, and then like hairy, like with like longer hair, like beards, just anything like that. Like that's why I'm obsessed with Jason Momoa, like things like that. Like I'm always kind of like, oh, I want the bad boy. I want that bad boy. I can't help it.
Same.
I got problems.
But Ruffalo would treat you right.
He would.
That's how boring.
He'd be nice to your parents.
Yeah, and I
He'd
think
pick
that-
you up from the airport.
I feel like Robert Downey Jr. is a nice guy, but he's like, he can live on the edge. Like you never know. He might be a bad boy one day. He used to be a bad boy, so you never know when he gonna slip. And so that's like, I like that. Like I like to live on the edge a little
You
bit.
like
But
that, sure.
I mean, let's be real. Mark Ruffalo could, I wouldn't kick him out of bed any day, if I could get him there.
What if he ate crackers?
I would be like, hey babe, can you clean those up? And then I would be like, come back to bed after you're done.
Dustbuster.
It's technical. Yeah, I wouldn't be kicking him out. I would just be like gently pushing him out for a minute and then tell him to come back when he's ready. Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say is Niccole is used to posting controversial poll content on Instagram. Do you think Jordan is a fan favorite?
Well, I mean, I don't have enough experience to know, but I think that if you said that quickly, like I think you said it pretty easily, so it seems like it's probably true. I just think that Jordan was nervous about taking that as a compliment.
And then I was like nervous about committing. I don't know why.
And then you question it because then you're like, well, should I be questioning it? Because if you're questioning it, then it's a whole confidence thing. That's the thing. You got to just sell it. He got to take it with confidence, and then you both believe it, even if it's not true.
Oh my
That's
God.
good advice. I
That
should just
is-
say, it's me, fan favorite,
That's right.
Jordan.
You could tell me anything and I would believe it because I would be like, yeah, you seem like a fan favorite to me. You seem fun and nice. You got cool hair, you cool dude, So
Sure,
why not?
fun and nice.
Yeah,
And
why
you
not?
know
Those are
Niccole likes
two of my many things.
Niccole
Yeah.
likes the hair, and
Yeah, I
Jordan,
do
you
like the
have
hair.
the hair.
Oh, thanks. Nice of you to say. I am self-conscious about the hair right now, just
Really?
because it's getting pretty COVID wild.
Yeah.
But,
I'm right there with you.
no, you're high and tight, Tony.
You
look
know, you
great.
can't tell because of the headphones.
It's
But
a little longer. Oh, you
it's-
got some
it's
in the
getting-
back.
See,
Okay.
You see
Yeah.
all this? Yeah.
There's some shag.
Tony,
Shag.
I need to introduce you. Hello, Tony. Welcome to the show.
Hi. I see what you did, though. You waited until all this bad boy talk, and then you introduced the bad boy of the show.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
The ultimate
Love to
bad
see
boy.
That's right.
I'm into it already. I'm already turned on.
BBTT.
Tony, you have a bit of what my husband has, which is the belief that your hair is getting long and wild when it's very neat looking.
For again, one compared to what it normally is, and again the headphones team it, because look, if I like that shouldn't
All right.
be anywhere near.
You
that.
do have a lock down
It's
to your
long.
nose.
Yeah. See, I can trick everyone by tucking it behind the top of the old headphones.
For the frustrated listener, patreon.com/Alison Rosen is where you go to see this video. But what else do I get at Patreon? You get bonus episodes. I just recorded one with Daniel of the aforementioned messy, not messy hair. And it was full of gossip and also tea. And also we name names. And also we have dignified conversations. And also Zoom parties. And also you can submit your carbs. And also other great perks. Oh, and I say your name on the show when you sign up. So, I mean, you know you want that. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen. Okay. Niccole,
Yes.
you had an audition earlier. Are you allowed to tell us anything about it?
It was for something that was funny. I don't know if I'm allowed to. It was fun. I had auditioned for a different part, and then they just called me in for another one that was maybe more toward my personality. And it went well. It was fun. I got to sit in a chair in my kitchen and just have an audition. So it was good. But yeah, I don't know. It's for a pilot. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
So if like in 6 months you're like, oh, Nicole's on that pilot, then it'll be like, that was maybe the one.
I'll trace it back.
Yeah,
So
trace
how does that work? Auditions over Zoom?
It's actually pretty nice. Some of, I mean, like, because it's just really well set up. Like they have like the little waiting rooms where you can sit in a waiting room. The commercial auditions use those more, where it's like there's a lot of people that are just waiting, and then they just bring you into the breakout room and then you audition. And it's easy. It's like if you have like a setup with lights and whatnot, you just do it and you knock it out, and it's nice because you don't have to drive anywhere. I mean, I personally, I miss being in rooms with people because it's fun, because then you get to also like show your personality and have like see if they can see that you're charismatic and fun. So that's a little bit tough, but I don't know. They've been pretty easy. They're better when they're on Zoom. I hate self-taping. That's what I hate.
How come?
That's the other COVID thing that's been going on. It's like, in some ways I love it because you can have control of it. You can do a million takes. You can get it all perfect. And I'm like kind of a perfectionist. But in other ways, then since you have all that time, something that normally would have taken you 20 minutes, you drive there, you just read it once and then you go home, now can take you 5 hours, because you're just like, oh, I gotta do it again. I gotta make it perfect.
Right.
And then like you gotta edit it. You gotta get the sound and the lighting and all that stuff down. So it's a lot. It's been a lot of extra work on actors this COVID season of the whole year.
What I remember from my auditioning days is the parking. This was like pre-Lyft, pre-Uber. And the whole finding parking, walking in, being like wind blown, not in an attractive wind swept way, but in a like, now my hair is stuck to my lip gloss and I have like beads of sweat on my upper lip and my hair is frizzing.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of that all. So in that regard, I can see where being able to do it from the comfort of your kitchen would be so much better.
Yeah, for sure. When I would do that, I had to try to be early if I could, because I get really frazzled. And like whenever I walk into a new room, just in general, I'm already nervous, sweating, and my blood pressure is like through the roof because I'm just an anxious person. So I would always have to be extra early. But yeah, now it's like, I mean, I still get nervous because I get nervous about everything. But like, it is a little bit more like the comfort of your home. You feel more comfortable. But then it's like you have to battle with your neighbors. Like if your upstairs neighbor decides he wants to listen to Steely Dan or something on repeat, and you're like, well, fuck, I'm listening to Steely Dan while playing this, crying mom on a movie or whatever it is. But, and like
Listen, crying moms love yacht rock.
Crying moms love yacht rock. And like there's our walls are super thin, and my neighbor is right on the other side of this wall. So I think it's her bathroom. And so sometimes she'll be like talking or just like generally she's loud for some reason in this particular room. And so it's like, I'll be like, I hope you guys couldn't hear my neighbor, but she's just on the other side of the wall doing her thing. She's talking. She's a real estate agent. I know that because I hear it through the wall.
Where are all the good deals?
I don't know, but I think it's a good time to buy. So, y'all,
Okay.
if you're looking to buy, she can help
intel.
you. She can help you. Yeah.
Jordan is actually, when we last talked, Jordan, you were in the process of trying to move. We need to
have
hook you up with
moved.
Nicole's bathroom neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm done. I moved. I signed
are?
a lease.
Whoa.
This is my first podcast in my new place.
Ooh, congrats.
Tony,
Thank
play
you.
something.
We
Play
need
Steely
sound
Dan.
effects. Yeah.
Play Peg by Steely Dan.
Oh man, you put me. I felt like this was the one time I couldn't just play my name being sung, and I panicked.
Whatever you have to do.
Wait, say this is...
Hey, okay, I'll set you up again. Hey, guess what, everybody? I moved, and this is my first podcast in the new place. Great.
It's like we were sad and then we got happy again. That's what it
Whoa!
sounds like.
Slide whistle works for everything.
That's right. Congratulations.
Thank you,
So
yeah.
where are you?
So I am in Pasadena in speaking of niche, I am in a Pasadena micro neighborhood called Bungalow Heaven.
That sounds awesome. Is it a bunch
Yeah,
of
it's
bungalows?
pretty
cool.
I love bungalows.
I know, right? Doesn't it sound fake? Yeah, it sounds like something like a stand-up showcase that would have been on Comedy Central in 1992. That like Dana Gould would have been on. Yeah, it's fun. As you know, as I was talking about the last time we talked about this, I really wanted to make Burbank happen. Mm-hmm.
You're going to be my neighbor.
I wanted to be by the Rosens. I my pool's there.
By the way, my husband, whose last name is not Rosen, will love that.
Yeah, I consider you guys the Rosens.
He gets called Mr. Rosen so often back in the old days when we would travel, because I always make all the travel arrangements, so everything's under my name. So he's just
Right.
they just call him Mr. Rosen, and he just loves it. Go ahead.
The Rosenquances. Yeah, I tried to make Burbank happen. I'm a big fan, but I looked and there was nothing for the money I wanted to pay, and the apartments I was looking at were a little grimier than I wanted. So I kind of expanded the search and decided to go kind of far out to Pasadena. I thought the options were a little bit better. I kind of like the vibe, which is a place you take your mom to see a play and then get lunch.
That is
And the lunch place
exactly
has
what
giant
it
iced
is.
teas.
Did you get a bungalow? Do you live in a bungalow?
I do live in a bungalow.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so now I actually don't share a wall for the first time in my recent life. So yeah, I definitely
There,
had.
I did a side whistle.
I definitely had Steely Dan neighbors, and yeah, every time I was on an important Zoom call, they decided to like do aerobics or have a loud fight with their partner, or blend something. So yeah, that's kind of nice. Yeah, and I'm kind of just liking exploring Pasadena. It's for people who don't know Southern California geography, it's a little far out. It's a little far out from like stuff, and I'm a little nervous that when like hanging out comes back, and I am so excited to hang out. I just want to fucking hang out. I just want to hang out. I'll hang out anywhere. I'll hang out at an Arby's. Like, do you want to hang at an Arby's? I'm in. But like, I am a little concerned that I will be taken off people's hangout list because I'm too far away.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's
Okay.
a lot of people who left New York and left LA to go to like Wisconsin or Minnesota. They'll be taken off the list. Or Arkansas, or
Well, yeah, they definitely won't be able to hang out. So they will be
probably
taken
not.
out.
Not at an
Harder to
Arby's.
hang.
But Pasadena is one of those places where, for me, when I do it, I'm like, this is much closer than I think it is.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a couple doctors in Pasadena.
Okay.
I'm sure if I went to a play with my mom, we'd get lunch afterwards in Pasadena, just like you're saying. So I think it's doable.
I think it's also for people that live farther out, it's on them to want to travel to hang out too. Because I think it's like, if anything, you'll probably end up coming to people, and that'll be the thing that'll be the challenge. Like, do I want to drive into, Koreatown or whatever to see people?
Sure.
But it's
I know.
nice.
I've kind of resigned myself to like, hey, it's just going to be some expensive lifts. Just get that into your head now. But I'm liking it. I'm getting unpacked, and it's kind of feeling a little homier. I went to Bed Bath & Beyond and did that big Bed Bath & Beyond like refresh of the shit you threw away, like a new dish dryer and new hand towels. That was like really fun.
That's awesome.
I hope you used the 20% off coupon.
Oh, I did. I brought it from my old place. I made sure to put it in my packing stuff.
I was just told a couple days ago that those are about to become strictly digital.
Really?
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. I did not know that.
the end of an
That's
era.
what the lady told me at the Bed Bath and Beyond in Pasadena.
Ew.
Whoa!
Maybe I'll see you there, Jordan.
Oh, I would love to run into you at the BBB and P.
Wow.
What were you getting? What were you getting at the Triple B?
I pretty much do almost exclusively one thing there. I take my SodaStream cartridge to get I do a little swap, get a new SodaStream. That's it.
Still using the SodaStream, are you? I had now not to.
What is that?
Are those
judgment?
bad?
What-
I have one too. Is it bad?
No, it's not bad. It's not bad. Jordan, do you have one
good.
also?
No, I don't. I still do a canned seltzer. I don't know if that's. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's. I don't know what we're doing. I feel like we're all self-conscious that our seltzer choice is somehow wrong.
I know.
but,
Right.
yeah.
This might.
But yes, I still do a canned seltzer.
This might be a hint of why those online bitches turned on me with my judgmentalness.
More
my judgment.
foreshadowing.
I know. Do. Sorry, I don't know why I'm doing this, Tony. Okay. I had a soda, like the first generation Soda Stream. I had one, and I'm not trying to brag, but I did. And then I sort of I phased it out of my life. So when you guys said you had a Soda Stream, the me that no longer uses one is like, oh, still doing the Soda Stream. But I think that really I should have spoken from the place that knows that they've come a long way, and it's like a whole new thing.
Yeah, what's the current Soda Stream?
Yeah,
like,
what
Tony?
goes on
what
with
do you
that?
do with it? What are you putting into it?
Because when I had one, I had to take a straw and manually blow the bubbles into it.
Back
very
in my
exhausting.
day, we walked 20 miles to the Bed Bath & Beyond
Very not worth it.
in the snow to get our Soda Stream.
I mean, it's pretty simple. It's just, you just hook the bottle up to it and hit the button a couple of times, and that's it. I don't do any flavors or anything. I'm strictly just like club sodas. I stopped
Same.
drinking like soda like over a decade ago. So yeah, that's all I do with it.
What about you, Niccole?
Yeah, I don't put any flavor in it either. I just use it to make like soda, like club soda, I guess you could call it. Yeah. Pretty basic, but I like it. I don't
I
know.
do too.
Yeah, it makes because I'm not really a big water drinker, even though I should be. But
Same.
I'll drink the hell out of some sparkly water.
Yeah, that's kind of what
different.
helped me stop drinking soda.
Yeah.
Was it like still gave me that carbonation that I liked, I guess.
That's what I
thought
need.
Yeah.
I need to stop drinking soda. It's bad. It's so easy to just drink too much of it. I do anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Same.
your soda of choice?
Me, I'm like straight Coke, like just Coca-Cola. I don't do diet. People always ask me, "Are you sure you don't want diet?" I'm like, "No, I want regular." Yeah. I love it.
Wait, like at a restaurant, someone would say that to you?
Yeah, because
I would be
think
insulted.
it's just because I think it's I don't know. I never get insulted because I feel like they say that because so many people order diet and nobody orders regular.
Right.
Especially like women. I mean, so it is kind of like, okay, just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I don't want a lot of sugar. Give me some sugar. But I don't know. They always do. They ask me all the time. They'll be like, Diet Coke, and I'm like, no, regular Coke. It's every time. Just give it to me straight.
What about you guys? What's your soda of choice?
I think like Tony kind of tried to kick it, 10 years ago because, people say like, oh, it's the easiest thing you can do for your health, blah, 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 blah. But I cannot wait. I cannot wait to go to a movie and have a giant fucking Dr. Pepper. I love a movie Dr. Pepper with a ton of ice. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for that. I lie in fields and look up at clouds and think about my movie Dr. Pepper I'm going to have. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, so I think when I have my occasional soda, Dr. Pepper or a cherry Coke or a like full calorie cherry Coke I also think is really good. So.
What about you, Tony?
Well, when I was drinking way too much soda, it was kind of the same as Niccole, usually just Coke. I did toward the end switch to Coke Zero. I found that to be much more tolerable than Diet Coke.
Yes,
but then,
same.
But then I decided to try and phase it out. I thought I wasn't going to be able to do it, and it was actually easier than I thought it was going to be.
I feel like it's one of those things that's like it's probably really hard to kick at first, but then you don't notice it once you're over it. You're just like, oh, I don't care at all.
It literally never crosses my mind. Like it's almost like not an actual option for me.
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows, Jordan especially knows, my drink of choice used to be Pavilion / Vaughn's Refreshe wild cherry soda, but I've made a big
Refreshe.
switch, Jordan. Look at this.
What are you doing now?
Cherry
yeah.
limeade,
That.
clear American. Now these, I want to feel like I'm on par with you people who just drink the natural soda stream, but these are filled with citric acid and artificial sweetener. And when I was pregnant with my 4-year-old, I kicked all artificial sweetener it was so hard because I think everyone knows I really don't like water. I do not like it at all. And my blood is like 64% stevia. And 36% sucralose. It's just 100% artificial sweetener. And then with my second, I didn't do that. So I'm running my own control group experiment here.
Right.
So far,
which child will thrive more?
we'll find out. I do think Elliot started talking earlier. So is that a result of the soda? I don't know.
Might be.
Yeah, I mean, it's too early
That's
to
one
say.
Explanation.
Yeah.
That's one explanation.
Too early to say. We'll just. This is. We're gonna have to follow this for a long time. Then we're gonna have to. I don't even know what peer reviewed means exactly, but we're gonna have to do it. It's
Yeah.
gonna have to be evidence based.
Double blind.
Yeah.
The
Playing a long
whole
game.
thing. The whole thing. Okay. So, and I have to thank you guys for just being here and being on my show and allowing me to escape the hell that I put myself in earlier.
What
the
hell is
irony
it?
is
I love the build up to this. By the way, it's a
It's
blast.
so-
I hate to be having fun with your anxiety.
It's fine.
But I'm loving it.
it's fine. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Okay. So on the Monday show with Stephanie Wilder Taylor, do you guys know who that is? She is a podcaster, writer, TV personality, and she co-hosts a podcast with Lynette Carolla, Adam Carolla's wife. And I used to be on the Adam Carolla show, and then it was a whole big, that's a separate story, a whole big thing. We talked about it a little bit on the show.
Sure.
What'd you say, Jordan?
I know that it was a whole big thing.
A
but I
whole
don't
big thing,
know-
yes.
I don't know your guest. She sounds great.
Oh yeah. So she co-hosts a podcast with Lynette Carolla, and she and Tony was there because he's now on the Monday shows, and you can watch the whole thing on video, youtube.com/Alison Rosen if you want to see it, or just listen wherever you listen. But she recently found a thread where people were just talking about how much they dislike her and how much they think the show would be better without her. And it was like had a ton of comments, and it really rattled her and threw her for like a number of days. And so she was asking me, how did you deal with haters? She didn't use the word haters, but how do you deal with this like negative stuff online? And I gave what I think is like a very wise, insightful, calm, filled with perspective explanation of how I have learned to cope with this kind of online, first it got to me, but then I realized they're just projecting onto you. And as someone who is in the public eye, when you extend your life and you say this is entertainment and they have the right to comment on it. And I mean, I could have given a TED talk and like how to take it all in stride. I made it sound so much like I am not ruffled by this stuff. Because most of the time I'm not. Tony, back me up. Did I not give a TED talk on how to like keep a cool head in the face of all this?
I thought I was listening to Ted himself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, the Ted.
And I mean, look how far I've come because it really I used to be in tears, but now I totally get it. I see it for what it is. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I am a member of a private moms group on Facebook that has 4,000 members. It is based in a city on the east side here. However, there's a lot of people in it. And I know a lot, like a ton of people that you've heard of, a ton of people that you know, casting directors, things like that are in this group.
Ted from TED Talks?
Ted's wife is probably in there. You have to be female identifying and you have to be a mom to be in there. But anyway, I hardly ever look at Facebook. I don't post on there often. Occasionally I'll look to see like, oh, does someone have a recommendation for an ophthalmologist? Or like, has this happened with your kid? Or, reading this board convinced me that I made a mistake in not getting a minivan. But anyway,
What did they say about artificial sweeteners while pregnant?
Oh, I'm sure they're against it. Okay. They're pretty crunchy, these ladies. And they're also ridiculous at times. And also, I'll probably get kicked out for talking about it, but I don't care. So anyway.
Are these people who have strong opinions about Kegels?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
I'm just trying to get a mental picture of the group.
I mean, it's big, but they
Okay.
are very just insufferable at times.
And you're not allowed to talk about it outside of.
You're not allowed to post screen grabs. They haven't said
Okay.
anything about like you can't talk about it on a podcast. If I get kicked, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been in like 2 women in comedy groups like that, and they both imploded, intensely imploded.
Yes.
Because of just people being like a lot, let's just say, and also people sharing screen grabs, and then things got out, and everybody got mad at each other. It was 2 times. Back when I was on Facebook, I'm not on Facebook anymore, but that was like drama twice, 2 different groups. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen in your group. There's nobody keeps those secret groups secret, and then they always tell like a dude, and then it ends up blowing up. Yeah, every time.
Right.
Yeah, listen, I know you can't tell a dude.
You can't tell a dude. You can't
tell a dude.
You can't be telling dudes about your women group. You can't be telling dudes what you be talking about. Come on.
Here I am telling it in front of 2 dudes, and I have dude listeners.
But you're not saying any of the juicy details. You're just saying I'm generally in this group, which I think is okay. I think that's okay.
This is very, and I think, I think the idea of the like closed Facebook group is common enough to where people kind of know what you're talking. So I think you're okay.
I'm not 100% sure it's a secret group. It's a closed private group. Are those different? I don't know Facebook terminology enough.
Sounds pretty secret.
Like you have to be invited in.
Right.
And then they show up at your house in the middle of the night, take you to Denny's, just like being a cheerleader, which I was not one.
And then they take you home.
That happened in my drama club.
Oh, wow. And then they like make you strip naked and like say, what's the best play school toy? And you're like, I can't even think of any mom jokes. You're just like,
no, it's that actually thing. They strip you naked. You have to say what the best play school toy
and you're
is,
like,
and if you give the wrong answer, they make you eat an entire Moons Over Miami in front of them.
That's right. There you go. That's
It's wild.
Here's my question about the secret middle of the night Denny's trip.
Right.
Obviously, some communication happened with the person's parents beforehand, right? Or else they think there were intruders actually kidnapping their child. Like, how does this go? How does this work?
Wait, is this a real thing that happened? I'm sorry.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So this is
Jordan,
like
are you with me?
Yes, I'm totally with you.
Because we're both from Orange County, unfortunately.
It
might be an Orange
a
County
regional thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the world of like high school clubs, like when you're accepted into the club, when you're like a freshman, or when in my case, it's when, if you were like accepted into the drama club, part of the like ritual is they like come wake you up at like, 5 a.m. Yeah, they make you wear something embarrassing, and then you all go to like Denny's and goof around.
I never got to do this. Maybe that's why I do what I do now.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, you're filling that Denny's hole in your life.
I know your invitation to Arby's like came really close. Niccole, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Kansas. Actually,
Oh,
yeah, Kansas.
What was that like?
Right outside of Kansas City. It was cool. It was just like a regular suburban, boring life. And Kansas City was like 15 minutes away, so we would go downtown a lot and like leave school and go to Westport, which was like this party area, and like go skip school to go get like Mongolian barbecue all the time. It was cool though. It was a nice place to grow up.
That sounds fun.
And, yeah, it was fun, and it has become a very cool city now. Like downtown was dead when I lived there. There's nothing there except for like old meat factories, and now it's a lot of cool places, and people actually live down there. So it's a good city.
I have had a Mongolian barbecue craving for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. There's a place in Orange County where I grew up that I really wanted to go to. And then like 2 years ago, I went down there to do a show. Jordan was a guest at that weird big adventure show. But if anyone from there is listening, thank you so much for having me on. It was lovely. It was lovely. It was just you know what? It was great. Thank you.
It was wonderful. It was fun and strange.
Yeah. And while I was down there, then I was very pregnant at the time. I lost my craving for it. But since of all the foods that are not COVID safe, I don't like Mongolian barbecue. I don't know how you do that, because the whole thing is you need to control what you're putting on there, don't you think?
But it's like food doesn't, if it's getting cooked, it's not going to have COVID in it. But I mean, yeah, that environment is very like communal, like, and they're not doing any salad bars or anything like that. So they wouldn't be doing Mongolian barbecue. That's for sure.
I'm a big communal food person. I like a salad bar. I've always
know.
thought my dream, if I'm rich, is to put my own salad bar in my house.
I forgot about
I've always loved salad bars so much. I realized I missed them so much the other day when I was like going to Whole Foods, and I was like, man, damn, you can't get a salad bar though. You can't hit the salad bar up.
The fact that Whole Foods like salad bar, hot bar situation is gone. I mean, that
hadn't even thought about
really
that.
Yeah.
that loses Whole Foods so many points. I think.
Yeah. It's
You know
weird to
what?
me because I'm like wondering why that particular thing is so dangerous. Dangerous in quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that it really is as much as it's just like unsavory at this point.
Yeah. Anything
Yeah,
that's
I
like
think-
people sharing things is not good.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like, like obviously being too careful during all of this is preferable to being not careful enough. But I do
sure.
think some of this stuff is just like mostly psychological, like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they do it to like ease people's minds, which are working overtime and always kind of terrified. So yeah, I do think some things like that probably would be okay, but because it might freak a lot of people out, they don't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I kind of get it.
You know what I always found to be a secret salad / hot bar thrill is when you're putting together your salad, these are reasonable salad items. And then you're like, ooh, noodles, or like, ooh, fruit.
Yeah.
It Just happens go, girl. to be. It happens to be the same price per. Like now you're from a different bar.
Right.
Like at the Whole Foods situation where it's just like endless bar situations. Could I use situation more in that sentence? It's a situation.
Where are we? The Jersey Shore?
Hey.
Remember that?
I remember the situation himself.
But when you realize
guy.
something incongruous with salad that you want is the same price per pound, and you're like, I'm gonna read their rule book and throw it away, and I'm gonna put this pineapple right on top of my blue cheese dressing
Yeah.
because it's the same price. That's pretty fun, Tony.
That is fun.
You don't seem to think that's fun. What's going on? Why are you holding back?
I'm not a big salad guy in general.
Wow. He's like, I cut
Yeah.
out soda. What more do you want from me?
Right. So are you a like super salad? You're a soup person?
Definitely over salad. Yeah, I'll eat one occasionally, but it's never been much of a. I grew up being a very picky eater. I'm way less picky now than I was, but it's still like I very, 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 very rarely will have a salad.
Okay,
especially pick one.
Here comes a game. Tony, get your game sound effects ready.
Okay.
The game is we're going to go around and we're each going to get what age would you say the pickiness stopped?
Probably like I don't know. I'll just say 30.
Oh my God. That was not what I thought you were going to say like 8 or something. Okay.
Oh, no.
We're going to go around and we're going to guess items that Tony doesn't eat or didn't eat. Items that Tony found problematic.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
This is good.
I'll start.
Okay.
Olives.
No, not a fan.
Wait, so I get a ding.
So yeah, you're
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Give her a ding.
There you go. Yes.
Niccole.
me?
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts.
Sorry.
As a
Are
kid,
these
when you
things
were
that I
picked-
wouldn't eat now? Or
Yeah.
wouldn't eat then?
If
Or-
it's
and-
something that you wouldn't eat then, we
Yeah.
get it. She gets a ding. And if it's something that
Okay.
you would eat, she gets a
Okay, sorry. I'm all flustered looking at my sound effects and everything, but I will say
Okay, cool.
Jordan.
Thank you.
I've definitely like, I definitely was a picky boy, and I do still have some picky boy tendencies. So maybe I can reach into my own heart and maybe project some of my pickiness onto you, and maybe that's a good strategy.
okay.
So I'm gonna say mushrooms.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That is
Weird
so good
texture.
because that's what I was going to say.
yeah, that's one that I still am not a fan of. Do not like mushrooms.
Okay, I'm going to take a wild swing here. Tomatoes.
Oh,
Gosh.
All right.
Whoa.
I know you guys didn't see that coming.
Well, it's also
I might have guessed tomato because I don't like them either. I can't do. I like a
texture.
slice of tomato on a sandwich. To me, is pretty gross.
Oh, I have
I
another
can
one.
handle them now,
Yeah.
but yeah, even then, it's got to be like fairly. I don't want like a giant tomato or tons of tomato, but yeah,
I'm the same way. Like it has
would.
to be like almost not not ripe for me to be into it. It has to be like kind of harder. Does that make sense? Not super
Yes.
juicy. Not super juicy is what I mean.
That like
Yeah.
snot and seeds aspect is problematic.
we can't be doing snot and seeds. No, I can't.
Nope.
Do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Am I supposed to-
Nicole, you're up.
Okay. Eggplant. I mean, that's just nasty now. I think.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Really good. Okay, Jordan.
Let's say, let's just this is a big swing. Seafood.
Oh, that's a good one though. I think, unless it's.
I don't know what happened to my buzzer.
Really?
Yeah, I would get down on some seafood as a kid. Yeah.
This could go on all day, so I'm just going to say this is the end. Nicole and I
finally got
won.
one.
Jordan, you're the loser. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
I do need to tell you guys more about the online kerfuffle, but
Sure.
Tony, tell us, like now, what are the things you won't eat?
Yeah, still don't like mushrooms at all. I would say that's probably like the biggest one that like maybe comes up the most of like, you know, potentially having on something or whatever. Yeah, I'm at least to where I will at least give things a shot now. I think when I was younger, I wouldn't even like bother trying a lot of things. I'm open to trying things now, but yeah, mushrooms are the big one that I just am not a fan of.
Well, I don't want to bum you out, Tony, but we went to Trader Joe's recently. Our first grocery store we've been to, and this whole time, Elliot calls it Pirate Jones. He thinks that's what it's called.
Better name, honestly.
It kind of is. It's
should change it.
it's interesting to me that a 4-year-old could pick up the vibe enough that he would think it's called Pirate Jones.
He's like, this feels Caribbean. This is like in the Caribbean. I think I'm gonna go Pirate Jones. Like somebody hand me some kind of fruity drink.
They have a seasoning shaker thing called umami, which by the way, there's so many episodes of my show where I have gone out on a limb and said I think umami is total bullshit. It's the Emperor's New Sense.
Wow.
But Phil Rosenthal kind of made me realize it might actually exist, but I'm not sure. But anyway, it's like it's powdered mushroom and other stuff. You would hate it. It's like Tony repellent.
Well, maybe if it's not the texture, would you still hate it if it had the flavor? I missed if you didn't like the flavor.
Yeah, the texture is definitely the worst part of it for me.
Yeah.
I can handle like some of the flavor. If it's like overwhelming, I'm not into it. But a little hint here and there is okay.
Hint.
Yeah.
Do you like truffles? I think the flavor of truffles is disturbing. You
I
do?
actually do like truffles.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, yeah.
Tony, this is the complexity of this is really wow.
His palate is so refined yet so not. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of what it's like when you're a bad boy.
Okay, now I'm interested. Keep talking. I love a bad boy. Ah,
Show us that long hair
show
again.
us your hair. Show us your hair. Oh yeah, look at that. Ah.
Whoa, he
Oh,
looks
man.
like he's in AFI.
Oh
my
man.
God, that unruly mop. He loves a
love it.
truffle.
We love
What next, Tony? Tell us something else bad.
Have you guys seen my adorable French bulldog?
I did see that. The dog is always the go-to move with dudes. They're always like, "Well, did you see the dog? I got a dog." I can't tell you how many guys they use that as their first like the entry to making moves. It's like, "Well, here, look at this thing."
Sure.
Well, in 2021, what else do we have right now?
You know, you're
So true.
absolutely
Yeah.
right. And like, I love dogs, so I'm into it. And then he looks like a bad boy too. I'm sure his name's Bentley. Bentley, a bad boy. He don't give a damn. Look
That's
at
right.
Bentley.
Nicole. Bentley is such a bad boy of French bulldogs that when he goes outside to go to the bathroom, he climbs up onto a tree stump and releases his bowels on the stump.
He said, I'm going to take an elevated shit. Everybody watch me take this elevated
He wants
shit.
everyone to see.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not a lowbrow guy. I'm a highbrow shit.
Shit on a pedestal.
That's right. Put my shit on a pedestal.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
hilarious.
you guys. Speaking of pedestals, right now in my bedroom, I have a Chinese fan palm from Bloomscape in a beautiful slate colored pot with a little like tray underneath it on a plant stand. I've never had a tree in my bedroom before. However, now that I have one in there, I'm like, I should have done this ages ago. I don't know if you guys have seen my bedroom. In fact, I suspect you haven't, but it looks like people who moved in not all the way and haven't made up their mind about what direction this room is going. It's very much a before. However, now that I've introduced this tree, it is like, I feel chic and stylish. It livens up the room. I love it. It's been It's been a long winter stuck indoors, but warmer days are almost here. Spring is coming, so get ready to shake off the winter gloom. Throw open your front door, back door, any door will do. Let's get outside, people. And if your home isn't quite the oasis you've always envisioned, you got to check out Bloomscape. They make it easy to grow the lush springtime retreat of your dreams. So Bloomscape delivers healthy plants right to your door, plus all the grow-how you need to help them thrive. So it's great. You can choose what size plant or tree you want. Actually, I don't know if it's technically called a tree. I don't know the difference between plant or I guess it's just it's a very big plant is what it is. But you can choose by size. And then like I wanted kid safe and pet safe. They have all sorts of filters. So you get the right one for your place. And then they send it to you and it is very exciting. And then it totally changes.
I was just going to say, I have like 4 plants from Bloomscape. Like, for real. They're the best. It's great.
They're great.
Yeah, it's great. My mom got me a gift certificate there, and I was like, I'm so into it now. And now I send gift certificates from there to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind you have?
What kind of plants I have?
Yeah.
One of them is like a watermelon something. It's obviously not watermelon plant.
Right, there is
like,
something.
Looks like little watermelons, the leaves do. And then the other one, oh my God, I can't remember the name, but it's like it never needs water. And because I will kill a plant very easily.
Same.
Yeah, they're all very basic. They're very like just pretty easy plants, and they come in the cute little planters. I like that. I like Bloomscape a lot.
Yeah, it's a great service. Get 15% off your plant orders of $100 with promo code Alison at bloomscape.com. That's 15% off plant orders of $100 or more at bloomscape.com. Promo code Alison. Again, that's bloomscape.com. Promo code Alison. And now I want to tell you guys about something that is a little bit racy, if you will.
Is it going to be racier than Tony's dog or what?
This is
Nothing.
the ultimate in racy. Did you know women are 4 times more likely than men to say sex is not at all pleasurable in the past year?
In the past year? You mean forever?
I know. It's interesting that they say just the past year, but I mean, come on. Okay. Dame is here to fix that. Their mission, cultivating pleasure to enrich well-being. Dame Products is a woman-owned sex toy company making the next generation of vulva-tested, vulva-approved vibrators. Founded by a sex educator and an engineering whiz, Dame develops toys with the help of real humans and couples like you. Okay, if anyone is prudish, cover your ears. I just want to say that I have come a long way because back in the early days of this show, when sex toy products would come on, I felt uncomfortable talking openly about it. However, with Dame, when I looked at their website, I was like, yes, please, I would like to try that. And I think you will also have that attitude. Look, they're closing the pleasure gap and helping the world one vulva at a time. Their vibrators and accessories are made with medical-grade silicone, smart design principles, and lots of love, earning glowing press from the New York Times, W Magazine, and many more. And the best part, Dame offers hassle-free returns within 60 days, so your satisfaction is literally guaranteed. Go to Dame Products, DAME products.com/Alison today for 10% off. Again, that's dameproducts.com/Alison, dameproducts.com/Alison for 10% off. Okay. So
That's a good deal.
these women and this site. So I made the mistake of posting something on there, wanting to know if something that had happened to me with my kids had happened to other women. And I don't, because I see a lot of women come to this group and post like, ladies, can I just vent? Blah, 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 blah. Mine didn't have that much energy behind it, but people will be kind of revealing on there. It's not just like, hey, where can I find this or that? So I posted this and it got so far away from what I had posted. I was accused of censoring myself. Which is like, yeah, it's something that is about me. So I am. And it just turned into like, I don't even know if this term is acceptable among people who have my politics. It turned into a bunch of woke scolds. Are you guys familiar with that term?
Yes. I mean, yeah.
I can infer what it means.
Yeah, we can pick it up. We're picking up what you're putting down. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We got those context clues.
Generally, when people complain about people trying to be woke, I find that I disagree with them. And I think it's good. Let's all be enlightened. But this was like parody. I mean, this was like, oh my God. Like, and each person's comment, the subtext of each person's comment was me. No, me. No, me. No, me. And it's like, this now has nothing to do with my original comment. If please go back and reread it, you'd see that you've completely twisted it. Oh my God. And like all that equanimity I had when I gave my TED talk went away. I could barely sleep. I felt like I wanted to just keep going. I wanted to just go back and check it. I wish I could delete it, but that's called dirty deleting. And you can be kicked out of the group for dirty deleting.
Really?
Sounds like something a bad boy would do.
Well,
Hell yeah.
Can you mute like how you can mute it on Twitter? Can you mute your thread so you're not constantly getting notifications?
So I don't. That's part of the problem. No, it's actually not part of the problem, but I don't get notifications.
Okay.
That's how much I don't.
It is.
So then I have to go back and look, and it's very difficult to find where the new comment is because there's like all these little threads within the thread. Yeah. So I'm a detective to my own detriment. Yeah. But women have privately contacted me to tell me that they think it's crazy what happened on this thread and they're sorry and they just wanted to like offer some validation. But it's like the loudest voices have taken over this thread and it just makes me go, okay, I'll never post here again. And fuck all of you.
That's such a big thing on the internet. I think it's even happens on Twitter. I mean, that majorly happened to me on Twitter. I had a viral tweet that people. I mean, it's a lot of that thing where you're like, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Yes. But you literally are just wanting to start some trouble and be like super woke in a way that's problematic. Right. You're starting trouble because you just want to, or you're just like bored and you need a little attention. And it's that's so frustrating. So I totally have been there and. I cannot. So I had to mute. I muted a Twitter thread that happened to me on. I didn't delete it, but I muted it.
What was can I ask what your thread was?
I
or do you not want to get into it again?
No, because it's like I'll say it, but it's like I almost get even. I like feel like I'm like, oh, should I even say what it was about? I won't say it on Twitter because then people will yell at me again. But because I've almost said it before, and then I'm like, no. It was literally a tweet that was like. Said something like, people that walk slow, you realize you could just walk faster, right? Like just a little random thought that I had. It was literally, you guys, I was walking from my parking lot to the studio where I was shooting something, and this woman was walking slowly, and it was raining, and I was like, why is this bitch walking so slow? And it wasn't because of anything other than she was walking slowly. Right. So I just tweeted that, literally just a flippant thought, got 120,000 likes. People were screaming at me all day and night, telling me I was ableist and I'm a horrible person. And I was like, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean. And then it's like, but you don't know. Maybe she had an invisible disability. And I'm like, listen, like this is crazy. She was literally just walking slowly. I literally had one thought. It's like with the internet, there's no way you can cover everybody's perspective in one thought or one question on a Facebook forum post. So yeah, it gets so out of hand so fast sometimes, and it's always on the most random things you never expect it.
Did it bother you?
Yeah, because I really am like, I am not I'm not like perfect, but I definitely try to be a person that doesn't offend anybody. Like my internet presence is very, we're all friends here. We're just having a good time making jokes about observations about life. There's no, I'm not trying to cause trouble ever. And so, to be called an ableist bitch and all this stuff was just like, oh my God, like, I'm not like that. So yeah, it bothered me. It bothered me. It was making me anxious. So I just muted it. I let people have their little arguments, and then I didn't delete it because I felt like it was such a harmless, flippant thought. The fact that it went viral was the dumbest thing in the first place. And so I just let it be its own monster with other people have their little fun and their arguments in the background,
It's so tough. Like, I want to be like, ladies, like, I'm not this person that you think I am, and your understanding of the situation, I think you're trying to misunderstand. I mean, I don't understand. Like, this is so crazy. How much
you gotta be so crazy?
Why you gotta be so crazy? Can I record that for? Yeah. But
Wait, who was that? Was that Dave Hill?
No. Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, but I was just saying it is like that, and it's like that's the thing too, is like you can't defend yourself, because if you do, you're gonna dig yourself into deeper holes, no matter what you.
Well, that's what's happening. Like, they keep being like, well, OP seems I'm supposed to just sit back and be like, thank you for these lessons, and OP seems to be getting defensive and blah blah blah, and then like someone was like, what even is this thread? But it's just a bunch of da da da, and I wanted to be like, yes, what even is this thread? It has nothing to do with my original question. Oh my God, I just wish that it didn't bother me so much. But I think, because like you, Niccole, I pride myself on being like a decent person who is not trying to hurt anyone, and who I don't sit here and go like, no, it's my right to use the R word,
Right.
Like, I'm not that person. Right. So to all of a sudden be accused of like centering myself and not respecting people's boundaries, and it's just like, and also I think I have been, oh my God, I'm losing a very basic word. These people are taking words away from me. I have been, I can't think of the word, but like very lucky to have different places to go on the internet where, for the most part, people do know me and they give me the benefit of the doubt. Like my Patreon, or even like a lot of my interactions online are nice and good. Mm-hmm. And I just made the mistake of thinking that it would be similar with these horrible ladies.
It's tough because I think what something that maybe
spoiled was the word I was going for. I've been spoiled.
Yeah,
I think maybe something that was jarring for both of you in both of your situations of like this is like, we kind of like to think that our social media is for like people who know us. It's like you listen to a podcast, or you've seen a show that I work on, or something like that. Like, and so, like Niccole, what you said with, the joke about someone walking slow, like, I can tell from talking to you for 5 minutes that you were just mad at someone who was walking slow. But like, when it reaches that point where people who have never heard of you are seeing it, then it is so easy for them to like project, the worst possible alt-right person onto the tweet or
it's
the
like
post or whatever.
Game of telephone almost, where it's
exactly. So that's why exactly. And that's why it's so tough, because you want posts to do well. You want people to like your jokes and to like your comments, but like once it gets out of your sphere, that's when it becomes so easy to like reinterpret. Anyway. My worst experience was I made what I thought was a very mild joke about Bernie Sanders supporters.
Oh,
yeah,
that's the third rail.
Anyway, a man who I voted for in the primaries. A man who I voted for and like a lot. But I just made what I thought was a pretty mild joke about, goofy Bernie Sanders supporters. A man I voted for.
We love
and
Bernie.
and that's when I got the kind of worst, and anybody who knows me would go like, oh, this guy like is aligned with Bernie politically, and and is on the right side of this. But as soon as it got out into the wider world, people just assumed I was like, an alt-right guy or something attacking, the Bernie Sanders movement. And that's when the like awful death threat stuff started coming. It was really scary.
Wild.
Anyway.
I think it's also like 2020, 2021, people are so bored and so frustrated with just the system in general and being trapped in their homes, being trapped with their families, like God knows what. It's just so easy for people to just attack someone because they need that outlet. Not everyone's having, not everyone has that support around them, or they're using the internet as a way to just get whatever out. They're just putting it on you. Because a lot of times I'll go to people's pages. If somebody yells at me on Twitter about a nothing tweet, I'll go to their page, and a lot of times it's like, I hate my life, I hate everything. And I'm like, what are you going to do? I'm not going to say anything back to this person because obviously they're frustrated. That's all it is. They're frustrated. I might block them.
Somehow my post chummed the waters. And then they just piled on. And it was just, I thought this was a community where I could reveal a vulnerability or a sensitivity and have people be supportive. And like I said, I've been spoiled in having that situation in other places. Like my mistake was thinking that these women are that way because they would all claim to be that way. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just wish, I feel like it shouldn't bother me. I feel like I should be able to go, this is very fucking stupid, but it does bother me, which is why we're going to do a segment called Hey, Go Fuck Yourself.
Yay.
Now, there has been some confusion in the very recent past about the way this segment goes. And that is on me. I have not explained it. I've waited until things go sideways and then I try to explain. So here's how it goes. Let's say I was mad at Tony and I'm not Tony. Okay. So don't take this on. Don't let this in.
He doesn't care. He's a bad boy. He don't care.
That's right.
As my therapist would say, and this is a visual a little bit, but catch it out here. Don't let it in here. And she holds her hand like a foot away from her. Catch it out there. Don't let it into your heart. Chakra. She doesn't say chakra. Anyway. Okay. So if I were mad at Tony, I'd give my spiel about why he thought he had long, unruly hair. It was actually pretty short. I find that really irritating. It's not, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd go, hey, Tony. And then
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you say your piece, and then at the end you go, hey, whoever, and then we play that. Okay, so to these ladies in this Facebook group, you people are no good bullies. You think your shit doesn't stink. You're self-righteous. You're sanctimonious. You're not helpful. You're actually all quite self-centered and narcissistic. And you didn't even read my original post. You're a bunch of cunts. Hey, ladies.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Wow.
I feel uncomfortable that at the beginning I did "Hey ladies" because that sounds like Beastie Boys, and that's not what I was.
Go fuck yourself.
Not what I was going for. But anyway, I have said my piece. Now, would anyone else like to get something off their chest?
I have one. I have one that is, and this is like a mild "Hey, go fuck yourself."
That's
that I want
okay.
to say with a lot of like love and compassion. And I have a lot of compassion for the people I am going to tell to go fuck themselves.
Okay.
But I think it needs to be said. Now a time that I think that's something that I think is special about this time we are in now, which is April 2021, is that things are starting to look better pandemic-wise. Light at the end of the tunnel, all of that. Obviously, there's still a lot of concerns, a lot of dipshits acting like dipshits during spring break. Mutations, fourth waves, British variants, blah, 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 blah. It's good to be careful. That's all good. But maybe just interpersonally we can be a little excited and hopeful. For instance, if I was to say to somebody, what are you looking forward to doing post-vaccine? And if they snap back with some shit like, I'm not doing anything till 2022 and I still wipe down my groceries. Like, Maybe I get it. Shit's disappointing sometimes. We have not reacted well as a world to this, but God, can we just have a little bit of fun and hope a little bit and be excited for some shit like drinking a Dr. Pepper at the movies?
Yes.
It's helping us. It's I'm sleeping better. Just being a little excited is fun. So I understand where you're coming from, people who are still wiping down your groceries and don't want to go out of the house until 2022. I understand. It's better than the other thing. But just please go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Was this an in-person exchange or an online?
This is just some like interpersonal stuff I've had. I don't think I've had it happen online, but just I feel like I've been communicating with some friends, some acquaintances, and I'll try and kind of steer the conversation toward being a little excited, and I've gotten a few of those snaps, which I think are coming from a good place of wanting to be responsible, but also.
But it's
a little sanctimonious and it's a little bit overboard for sure.
Yeah,
rude.
Sure. And there's a who can be more responsible. Like, oh, really? You want to go out? Well,
I haven't stepped foot on pavement in a year and 2 months. It's like, okay.
Right,
I mean, you're just you're torturing yourself at this point.
There's a little bit of a contest. It feels like of like, well, I'm anyway.
Yeah.
So,
well, I hope they get fucked.
Thank you.
I was just having that conversation today, though, actually, with people about how there's that element of people that it's just getting a little overboard, and it's nice to be able to be positive and to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because that was. I'm sorry but it's like that at the beginning.
That's fine.
No, please.
At the beginning of the pandemic, it was a similar vibe, which obviously at the beginning of the pandemic, we were all scared. We didn't know what was happening. But there was like a panic group that was panicking aggressively online, screaming, panicking. And it's like, we have to just look at what's right in front of us right now. What's right in front of, us is, I have a vaccine appointment this day or whatever. I'm doing, and then my mom got a vaccine and I'm happy. And we have to be able to focus on those moments of joy and light at the end of the tunnel, or else you're going to make yourself cuckoo. And it's going to be hard interpersonally. You're going to lose a lot of friends because you're not going to be able to just have a conversation. We can't always be super heavy with this. I mean, it's been super heavy. It is super heavy, So I was having a conversation about that earlier.
And also, must we police each other this much? Like, if someone sees you about to do something that they think is endangering your health, I get maybe saying something then, but this is a hypothetical. It's just you're happy, and they're raining on your parade and acting morally superior.
Right.
People are
excited for a hypothetical fake haircut that might happen in June.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's strange.
I'm just excited to maybe get a haircut in June.
Yeah, and to me, it's like I've had friends that have not taken this seriously at all, and it's very frustrating. So I don't talk to them. Like I just don't talk to them very much anymore, because it's like it's gonna bother me, and it's going to make me anxious and frustrated if I talk to this person who's like, I went on vacation 20 times this year. It's like, what is wrong with you? But I don't want to be like, what is wrong with you? I just want to be like, I'm just trying to get through this. So I think there's an element of that too. It's like, if you find something that someone else is doing frustrating and aggravating, you can voice your concern, but at a certain point you might need to just step away from it so that you're not so bothered by it all the time,
Exactly.
Okay, so can I do my go fuck yourself?
Yes, please.
I didn't know it was going to be that. I didn't want to be too specific, but my thing is like with texting. Like I'm a pretty anxious person just in general. Obviously, if you haven't heard me talk about it 50 times today. But I cannot stand people not responding to texts. I understand that sometimes you will look at a text and you forget that you got the text. But I do not understand what is happening with people and not responding to text. It's getting out of control in my mind, and it's so incredibly rude. I have done that with people, and the only time I almost ever do it is when I don't really care about someone, so I just don't respond, and I don't really want to talk to them. And then I feel like it's gotten to this point where it's like people don't answer texts, and they can blame it on any number of factors. Oh, well, maybe they're sad. Maybe it's the pandemic. Maybe everybody's losing their minds during the pandemic. maybe, you know, they just put their phone down and forgot. Maybe they did this, maybe that. And it's like, what about maybe they just didn't respond to you because they're being rude? Or maybe they just don't care enough to respond, and that's also a rude thing, and then you can take it as that and move on. I personally am just sick of dealing with people like that, and I also am sick of the rudeness. I think that's all I've got on that one, but I definitely want to say to all the people that don't respond to their texts ever and don't apologize for it.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
I'm over
There
it.
you go.
I'm so over it. Like people, like they won't even respond. They won't even apologize for it. And that's when I'm like, okay, we got a problem. Like,
Yeah,
you
we
know?
all miss a text sometimes.
Yeah.
But you have to acknowledge that
Sure.
the expectation is that if you text someone, they'll text back.
Yeah.
And if you don't, just say, hey, sorry.
yeah.
Anyway.
The next time you talk to them, be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I missed that text.
Sure.
Just acknowledgement of completely dismissing someone, even if it's not on purpose, even if you did just miss the text. As long as you acknowledge it, there's something to that feels nice to me. And I feel like so many people are just getting away with murder because communication is so bad now. Communication can be so blind that people can just completely ignore each other.
I actually saw a meme today, which resonated with me. I'm sorry, Niccole.
I know what
when
it
you
is.
hear it. Do you know what you do?
I bet I do.
The Venn diagram?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because someone
I
said
haven't
that
seen
to
it. What
me.
is it?
It was people I like on one side, and then people I don't like on the other, and then the Venn diagram, and in the the overlap in the middle is like
Not
people whose
responding to
texts I don't
Yeah,
respond
not
to or
responding to
something.
text. Yeah.
But actually, Niccole, hearing you say this is a really good reminder. I respond, but I can be delayed. Like
Yeah.
it can take me a little while, and then I go, oh, sorry, But recently I texted someone and she hasn't written back to me, and I'm like, oh, you think you're better than me?
Yeah. Well, I also have people that will start. I have someone that starts will start a conversation. I respond, and then they don't answer, and I'm like, you started the conversation.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the pits. When someone's like, how's today been? And then you're like,
Oh, it was
and
fine.
you're like,
I feel a little down today. Da, 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 and then they don't answer. You're like, excuse me.
that sucks. Yeah. Yeah, that's the pits.
I totally get like people with I get the situation. People have kids. People, they go do something and then they forget. People are getting their hair done. They can't answer, hypothetically in the future. But yeah, I think there is those moments where you're like, why did you even bother texting me if you don't want to have a conversation?
Right.
It's too easy to just walk away. Yeah. Or if I ask a question in the middle of the conversation and then you disappear forever, I mean, we got beef. I got beef.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's all valid.
I'm with-
all valid.
I'm with you on this one. Tony, where are you with this?
Yeah, I it's definitely annoying. I will add a wrinkle to that I've experienced a few times of it's a very new thing to me anyways, and a thing that I find unnatural and annoying to begin with, but I've been trying to look at online the dating apps and stuff, even though it's such a weird time to try and meet anybody. But there have been a couple of instances where maybe a girl we're talking, and then she's like, "Oh, hey, I don't always check the app, but this is my number, and I'll be easier to respond that way." And then they do that, and then so I text them, and then be like, "Hey, how's it?" Start lame, simple, "Hey, how's it going? What are you doing?" or something, and then they're just like, "Oh, nothing." And then that's
Give
all
me
they say.
nothing.
They give me
That
nothing.
is tough.
That's
That
very
is
tough. It's
It's
tough.
why did you give me the number? If you
Yeah.
are just, you don't seem like you want to talk at all.
It's
So why did you give me your number?
I hear that a lot I feel like men from dating apps do say that a lot, that they end up running into women that don't want to have conversations, which always surprises me because I'm always long text, but then people don't respond to them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's tough. Yeah, I definitely so I think if you're a woman dating men on dating apps, you have to put up with a lot of shit. You do.
Oh, I'm
you
sure.
just do.
Yeah.
So I definitely I hear it, and I'm like, you're all saints for trying to date men.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
wonderful. But yeah, but yeah, I think sometimes you feel like you're like, well, I'm doing this correctly.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you what your top 5 movies of the year were.
Yeah.
This is dumb and fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
You said
Just
you don't-
give me something.
Yeah, you said
Yeah, I
you don't
would
check the app, so you check your phone. Apparently, that's what you said. So check the phone, respond, give me something.
And I think just a simple oh, I'm getting off the app, I'm dating somebody, or I'm not into this right now. A nice, a polite reason for not responding is nice too. It hurts sometimes, but it's
Absolutely.
better than wondering.
That's actually
What?
huge about ghosting and people that ghost. It's just like,
Yeah.
tell somebody. Well, that's
I
after
know.
that for me. That's more after you go out with somebody that you should have the common courtesy to just be able to say, I don't want to go out again. It's not really that hard, especially if it's
I
via
know.
text.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Allison. I keep interrupting you.
No, that's totally okay. I'm just, there's a lot of stuff I'm thinking about. I'm just going to tell you guys. Okay. So what I posted about was, and I'm sure there are some, okay. So I have mentioned before, we had a nanny from the time Elliot was 4 months old to October. This woman who was like here all the time, and she was great and we loved her and, felt like she was a member of the family, except I've since been told that it is not okay for me to say that because maybe she didn't want me to get that close, but, felt very fond. There was a lot of fondness. My kids were very attached to her. And then she ghosted us. She just disappeared. And and Elliot told me the other night that he still asks about her and he had a dream about her that she let him hold her hand. And of course, this like breaks my fucking heart. So my post was just like, hey, just curious if, anyone has ever been ghosted by their nanny. We had this, and I kind of explained it. And, I do not have a problem with her. And I, at the time I was like, what the fuck? And I kind of was like, the not knowing, it was like being ghosted in a relationship. Like the not knowing just drove me insane. And I'm like, do I hire someone else? But I don't know if she's coming back. I don't know what's going on. And so I talked to her roommate and her sister, and I do know more details of what happened. But I've still never heard anything from her. And so I just wanted to know, has anyone had this? It was really just, it still is so weird to me. I'm not, my life has gone on, our life has gone on, but it still is something that bothers me and feels weird when I think about it. Like 3.5 years, like that's a long time. That's my kid's whole life.
Yeah.
But I just got told that like, I was centering myself and I was trying to own her.
Yeah.
And that I thought like once she doesn't work for you anymore, she doesn't owe you anything. And I'm like, I don't think she doesn't owe your son closure. And it's like, oh my God, I don't think she owes us anything. Just the simple like, hey, I won't be returning to work is all I was just asking. Has anyone else? Isn't that weird that she didn't do that? Yeah. But they're like, this sounds like you're saying good help is hard to find. I'm like, oh my God. And but I keep rereading my post to be like, what did I miss?
Nothing. You said you have a nanny, and then they assumed you were a privileged brat, and that's why. That's all it is. To me, that's all it is.
No, I think it is because someone in the comment even. Like she put a comment about how like growing up she had a black nanny and blah 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 and like this woman was so loving to her and da da da. However, and that's part of the reason why she doesn't feel like she doesn't feel comfortable with having a nanny but she's like, and by the way, but we never called her that. And I'm like, am I using the wrong word? Like, oh my God, yeah, I think you're right though. I think they feel that one should not have someone in the home watching their children. I don't know.
Well, if you think about it, like think about how many times Chrissy. I mean, listen, everybody says some silly things sometimes, but think about how many times Chrissy Teigen gets yelled at for literally just living her life. Like, and she didn't do anything. She didn't do anything except for she has money, and so they automatically assume she can have no problems, and everything she does is automatically her fault because she's not appreciating her privilege or whatever. And it's like that obviously is not the case. She obviously is also just a human woman trying to exist in the world. And that's what you are too. And I just think, especially right now with the way things have felt, with people struggling and, some people losing their jobs and blah, blah, blah. I think that right now it's like, if you mention, I once said something like, on Twitter, like can anybody spare some motivation? And someone quote tweeted me saying like, oh God, these actors are so privileged. They got all this money. Whoa. And yet they still don't want to work and they got all the money. And I'm like, I don't know how much money I have in my bank account, sir. And it's just, I just think that there's.
Yeah, by the way, show business is shitty now. Like,
bro, we've been sitting at home just like you. Yeah, but I think that there's. Yeah, personally, I think that's what it is.
I think you're right, but the extent to which because people were like, maybe you should just send her money because blah, blah, blah. And and I was like, oh my God, how do you know that I haven't? You have no, like, I just, not that it matters, but just because it makes me feel better to say it. She was well compensated. I paid her full rate for the 4 months that we didn't have her because of COVID. I had given her all sorts of sick leave and vacation leave and bonuses and like she was not exploited by us.
Right.
I tried to be a very good employer. However, I think they're just taking issue with the employer-employee of it all. Mm-hmm. That being said, so many of these women have childcare.
Absolutely.
Like this is, and one of my favorite offshoots of this was there's a woman on there who came to my defense who had been a nanny. And then someone else is like, you don't get, like take her mouth out of your, not mine, but someone else's name out of your mouth. Like, you don't know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this woman actually was a nanny. So I feel like she could speak to some of this. Anyway, they can still go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
that is rough.
I know.
Yeah.
I brought that up though, because we were talking about ghosting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's what made me bring that up. Mm-hmm. In any situation, ghosting is so, and they told me that I didn't have the right to call it ghosting. So I don't know what I was supposed to call it.
So what do you call it? No call, no show. And then they say you're a jerk for saying that. You know what I mean? Because it's the same thing.
The evaporating on you when you expect the person to show up and then you're like, are they okay? Did they this? Did they that? Are they mad? Did they, you know what I mean? Just the amount of like trying to figure it out that happens.
Yeah.
It's like a shitty position to put someone in. Yeah. Cause you were saying like, just say, I'm dating someone else or whatever.
Yeah. It's just a short words. Like if she needed to leave, I don't know what the reason was, but if she had a reason, I mean, you would hope that she would tell you after years of being employed. I mean, it's hard.
Right.
And it's not that you are like, how dare she? I'm going to hunt her down and hire and make her work for me more. You're like, I feel like kind of crazy because this woman just left me and I don't know what happened is what it sounds like to me.
Yes.
But also you can't, it's like tone. Sometimes that thing doesn't translate to the internet. It's just, it's very difficult to like properly show people like, I'm not an asshole. I'm just literally very confused. And like, I feel sad. My son's confused. I don't know what to say to him. I don't know what we're doing. We never got closure. We don't know what's happening.
Well, they told me that this actually is a wonderful growing experience for my son.
Oh, yeah, your son who they don't know.
Right.
Who's 4.
Did you see that Bess Calb tweeted something yesterday? I don't know if I should. Well, she doesn't care. Bess Calb tweeted a picture of 3 eggs in the grass. And she was like, my son took 3 hours to find these 3 eggs and they were all right next to each other. And it was like, just a goofy little tweet. And they're like, she's saying my son is cute, And people were like, maybe he's colorblind. And like, they were really like going in on her.
God.
It's just like a weird.
That's tough.
It's like, it's hard. I think it'd be hard to be a mom. I don't know, but it just seems like there's nothing you can quite do that doesn't make someone kind of attack you for it.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I don't think I realized it as much as, I didn't realize that was the situation, but now I sure do.
Yeah.
I'm like tempted to, I can stop close comments on it, but now I have like a sick fascination with watching how bad it's going to get.
Yeah. As long as you're not hurting your own feelings too much by watching it.
How much is too much?
I don't know. That's your call.
You guys, this was super fun. I know, Niccole, you do have a Just Me or Everyone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear the song and then let's do that and then we will wrap it up.
Okay.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
I feel like
all right.
I'm not sure if this is going to be like, this is not just me. I think I already know it's other people, but grocery shopping. I can't, every part of the grocery process I hate, and I don't understand why it is the way it is. It's just like buying groceries. You have to figure out what to buy. You have to know how to plan. We never learn how to do that. I'm not good at it. So I go to the grocery store. I buy like a bunch of junky, like pointless things, and then I can't even make one meal. And then I get home. I don't want to cook because I just was at the grocery store, so I'm exhausted. And I'm like, I'm not cooking. So then I don't want to cook. Then I go on the opposite end of it, and I have this urge to like eat everything that I bought for some reason. Like every piece of food that I bought, I'm like, maybe I should just get like a little taste of everything I bought since I just have it.
Yes.
I don't know why. And so then it's like, what else? And then when you do go to the grocery store, if you live alone, the portions are so big. You can't buy anything that's like the right portion, especially for vegetables, because then you'll end like with asparagus, with cilantro, it all goes bad because you have to buy so much of it. It's just
I have some asparagus in my fridge right now, and I am thinking about how much asparagus it is and how much asparagus I have to eat over the next 3 days.
Yeah, you just have
to
keep
make it
eating
worth it.
Exactly. It's all just too much for me, and I'm completely over it. I want someone else to help. I'm like, it is. Why do we have to do this?
That is definitely not just you. That is so Daniel, aforementioned husband, who used to be a regular on the Thursday show and will come back when we're in person. It's just it's just complicated with the Zoom of it all and two of us in the same spot on Zoom. But he is exactly like that, and he hates that he has to make decisions about food.
Yeah.
He always feels like he doesn't buy the right things at the grocery store. He doesn't have anything he wants. He's the kind of person who's like, I wish I could just take a pill that had all the things I need in it in a day. And I'm like, I'm the opposite. Like I am very fine eating food and also buying it. But you're definitely not alone.
Yeah, it's like I love food, but I hate the process of trying to figure out how to get it into my body. Like I hate every part of the process. I hate shopping. Like I buy all of the wrong things, or I get home and I'm like, wait, I don't have anything to actually make a meal. So then I mess that up, and then it's always such a pain in the butt to me, and especially for some reason, maybe because during the pandemic we've been just eating at home more and having to make decisions about dinner every freaking day. And every day I'm like, I gotta make a damn decision about dinner. I'm so over it. Like, it's just every part of the process. Too much. I realize that
especially, like you said, living alone is especially hard to figure out how to shop for that.
Yeah.
Unless you just buy like frozen things.
Exactly. And then you're eating crap. And so then it's like, even like, and then I'll make a meal, and then you make a meal, and then you have leftovers that you have to eat every day, and you're eating the same thing. It's just like, I can never figure out how to make it just kind of even out. I don't think it really does when you live alone. I don't think that's possible.
Yeah. It's pretty difficult.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we should
I know what you mean about that shopping trip where you're like, okay, I did a whole thing. I went to the grocery store. Why did I just buy apples and mustard and peppercorns?
Right.
This doesn't make anything. I have to go to. I have to do another trip.
Then you get home, you have nothing. Like. Yeah, I can only ever confidently make breakfast, and then after that, I'm kind of shit out of luck every time. I'm like, what did I do? So yeah.
Okay, let's do like one. So listeners send them in. And let's just do a couple from them. So Trey Sloan says, just me or everyone. Doing nothing inside makes me feel lazy and worthless, but doing nothing outside is zen living in the moment. Yes.
Yeah. Big agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you're outside, you're like, look at me being like a natural person, taking advantage of the weather, etc.
Yeah. Sunshine. Automatically.
Getting some vitamin D. Yeah.
I don't like it, but I do feel good about it when I do it. And then Stephen Venn says, do you close your eyes like I do when brushing your teeth? I think it helps me to concentrate more, and I get bored looking at myself in the mirror.
That's
I don't close
Absolutely
my eyes.
not. You know what? Somebody tweeted something about do you brush your teeth? As soon as you start brushing your teeth, do you walk around your apartment? And I do that. Does anybody else?
Oh, me too.
A lot of people
I
do
stroll while I just check out the apartment. I'm like, oh yeah, what's going on in the hall closet?
Why do we do that? That's a weird thing.
I find so Chelsea Peretti came on the show years ago, and she referred to that as jailbreak, like when she leaves her bathroom with her toothbrush. If I have to leave the room, like to do something in another room with my toothbrush, I feel so gross. For me, toothbrush is bathroom only.
It should.
I'm afraid
it
I'll
should
drip.
Be. It should be. It makes no sense to just walk. I just walk around my living room, and I'm just like, well, I don't know why.
A lot of people do.
Yeah,
You guys, this was so much fun. Just one more quick thing about the story before.
Let's hear it. No, I like it. I like I'm into the into the Facebook drama. I mean,
Well, now I'm feeling like maybe I did mess up because maybe it is. No, I actually don't think that is in the course of me saying it, but I'll just say what I was going to say. Like maybe it was insensitive or not reading the room to post anything that mentions that we do have a nanny in this time of like great economic uncertainty and loss and everything like that. However, I I mean, maybe necessarily I'm digging in, but I posted it on a board where people talk about this kind of stuff and also look for nannies.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's not like you. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say I do, I don't want to, make it sound like I think that every single call out is bad. I have definitely been like called out for jokes and things that acknowledged that it was very valid to call me out. It felt good to apologize. It felt good to think about that. Like not every call out is wrong.
right. Of course not.
Yeah, absolutely. And in general, I think I'm glad that we, do take a look at that stuff for sure. Like it's good, but like, yeah, I do think in this case, given and especially the context, especially the like, this is a mom group for mom issues and you bringing up a mom issue. I don't know. I know what you mean, but nah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where not everybody. It's a group of 4,000 people. It's like if you walked into a room 4,000. It's just like when we're in a group of 4, and I said, "Does everybody agree that not responding to text is rude?" And and like 2 of you were like, "Yeah," and one of you, one person's like, "Eh," and then it's like if you do that with 4,000 people.
Wait, was I the eh?
I don't remember. I think so. Yeah. But I mean, it's like it's fair to not have the same opinions, and I think that also people don't understand. Like it's the same thing for me. It's always the same thing of if a skinny person says they're fat, your instinct is to be like, shut up, you're not. Why would you say that?
Yeah.
But it's like that's their perspective, that's their experience, and their body that they might not be super into right now, and so you have to just respect it. But it's hard for people to always do that, especially online, I think.
Right. And like with the weight thing, it is everyone is making it about themselves.
Yes.
Like when you say that, it makes me like I actually got some shit when I was pregnant and I gained like a lot of weight with both my pregnancies and I was talking about the body issues it was bringing up, and I got people pushing back saying, I can't listen anymore because blah 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 blah, and it like, oh, I respect that. But it was their stuff that it was bringing up.
Their stuff.
Anyway, people are exhausting. I am so thankful for the ones that aren't. And that is all of my listeners. You guys are the best. Thank you. Again, Patreon, I have a yearly subscription. You can sign up for an annual subscription and you get 12 months for the price of 10. So it's 2 months free. You can't afford not to. And I would like to say hello and welcome to my new patrons, Anthony A., Lindsay F., Paulina K., John Y., Michael C., Mike C., and those are not the same people, Adriana C., and then Jeffrey Chu, I love that name, and Stephanie L. and Trice S. have increased their subscription amounts, and then Caitlin L. and Gabrielle K. have signed up for annual subscriptions. So wonderful. Thank you. If you like what you're hearing, please leave a nice comment, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, and follow me on social media at Alison Rosen. Niccole, where can everyone find you? And what should they look for?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Niccole Thurman, and it's Niccole, Niccole Thurman. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
Wonderful. And Jordan? And in that pilot that might be like 6 months from now.
Oh, yeah, and in a pilot. It'll be one pilot or another, baby. I'm going to be in one. One of them.
Just keep your eye on the pilot.
Yeah, exactly.
All of them.
Exactly.
What about you, Jordan?
I am excited to tell people again that in July, I co-wrote a graphic novel that is coming out. It is called Bubble. Get ready for this elevator pitch. It is like Search Party meets Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, wow.
Imagine such a thing.
I can barely.
It's a sci-fi comedy. It's got these goofy hipsters who live under a dome. They have to fight monsters. It's got blood and guts and robots and sex jokes. I think people will really like it.
Sounds fun.
Even if you don't read a ton of comic books. And if you pre-order it, it really helps the book. And I think I can tease that we're putting together some cool bonus stuff for people who pre-order. So if it sounds like fun to you, definitely give it a pre-order. It's at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or more preferably, maybe give your local indie bookstore a call and they'll pre-order it for you. It's called Bubble. It's coming out. Illustrations by Tony Cliff. Co-writing with the great Sarah Morgan. Colors by Natalie Reese. I think you're gonna like it. And and also hit me up on Goodreads. I'm on Goodreads now if you want to read some book reviews, and you can click Want to Read on Bubble there, and that also really helps the book. So if you want to put it on your Goodreads list, that's really cool too. That's all.
Wonderful. Tony Thaxton. I couldn't decide what I was calling you.
Yeah. I Twitter and Instagram at
Tony Thaxton.
And my podcast, Bizarre Albums, every Tuesday. This week is the story of the Hulk Hogan and the Wrestling Boot Band album from 1995.
Oof.
Yeah, it's
Can't
a doozy.
wait to hear that one.
And then if you're listening to this the day it comes out, tonight, Don't Stop or We'll Die, the comedy band I play in with Paul Rust and Michael Cassidy, doing a oh my god, I can't speak. Live stream on Twitch. I believe it's twitch.tv/Don't Stop or We'll Die. I'm not positive of the time, so just check social media for that. But that'll be happening tonight.
Just go there now and stay there.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. Niccole, please come back. I do think it's rude when people don't text.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we all yeah, exactly. I think so too.
You guys, this was so much fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show?